Kenko Hacks, a podcast about wellness, health, and biohacking.
Konnichiwa. This is Eva at Kenko Hacks. Today, we are very excited to have as our guest Dmitri Leonov, a co-founder of Taopatch USA. Dmitri, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You are involved in so many different initiatives. You are also investor, advisor, a co-founder of another company called Sanebox that helps people to manage emails better. And you are also the LA chapter lead for Transformative Technologies. But what got me to connect with you initially is Taopatch, a wearable nanotechnology, nanocrystal technology that combines acupuncture and light therapy in a format of tiny patches. For our listeners, can you please describe what Taopatch is?
Sure. So Taopatch is I wish I could show it to you, but it's a patch. So it's a little circle the size of a coin. A dime really, or maybe a little bigger than a dime. And it contains layers of nanocrystals. And what those
Mhm.
nanocrystals can do is uh, basically capture the heat from your body and convert it into
Mhm.
light. So essentially, kind of acts like a mirror. So it can takes the energy of your body, your heat, and it kind of reflects it back to you as light. And this light
Mhm.
is a broad spectrum, ranging from, and we have different products, so the range of the wavelengths is different. It ranges from infrared to all the way to ultraviolet. And essentially, what it does is it combines light therapy with acupuncture. And
Mhm.
I'm sure many people are familiar with light therapy. It's actually a very well studied form of medicine with a ton of studies on PubMed. And
Yeah.
acupuncture is surprisingly is the most well studied form of medicine. It has the most studies on acupuncture. The most studies on PubMed.
Yeah.
And we essentially combine those two things, and both light therapy and acupuncture are typically kind of hard hard to practice. You have to be at the doctor's office, and it's a involved process, and we just democratize it and make it easy and allow you to wear it 24/7.
I really love the first time I read about Taopatch. What amazed me the most definitely was that it converts our body's own energy into different frequencies. And so it doesn't involve any external energy source like battery. So it's very convenient.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned acupuncture, and it's a little bit complicated process, especially under this period when people, are afraid of COVID-19 and so on. But you can with this Tao patch, you can actually have the light therapy and acupuncture at the comfort of your own home. And if you'd like to 24/7, right, you can wear that all the time if you'd like to.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's really amazing, I think. And Taopatch is kind of new in the market in the way that it became available over the counter in the USA, I think around 2019.
Mhm.
But Taopatch has been around, available for many years by prescription only basis, mostly in Italy, as I remember.
Mhm.
To provide our audiences a little bit of historical context, can you briefly provide a historical background of Taopatch?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you know everything already. I can't.
I have listened to all the interviews I could find.
Nice. It's like, you leave nothing for me. I'm just kidding. Uh,
It's always best to hear, the expert, of course.
I'm just kidding. No. No. So yeah. So interesting. So Taopatch was originally developed by a very interesting and wonderful gentleman named Fabio Fontana. And so
Mhm.
Fabio was a biomedical researcher, and he spent many years studying the effects of electromagnetic radiation on the human body. And then,
Mhm.
one day he had an accident and was in pain, couldn't move, and he tried, all sorts of every therapy he could find, and
Mhm.
nothing helped him. And so eventually he got a hold of light therapy, and that was the only thing that helped him. And so that's kind of what originally gave him the idea, and he
Yeah.
combining again light therapy with acupuncture.
Mhm.
And so he, first came up with Taopatch. I think it's 8 years ago now, and he spent the first 7 years essentially, fine tuning the product,
Mhm.
testing it, and the way he was up until last year or a year ago, the only
Yeah.
way for you to purchase a Taopatch was through a doctor.
Mhm.
And so Fabio developed a network of hundreds of doctors, mainly in Italy,
Yeah.
and some other European countries as well. And so what we did, so me and my partner Marco, is we essentially kind of streamlined um, the protocols and the directions and just the methodology, and decided to kind of make it available direct to consumer, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So now, mhm,
Yeah. I saw at the company's website that it has been prescribed by, I think, over 1,800 doctors,
mhm,
mostly in Italy and in Europe. And it has been used by over 250,000 patients by now globally.
yeah,
So it's actually been, even though it's new to be available in this way on the market, it's still actually quite well established and very well proven technology, as I understand.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Um, I think that by now we become super curious to learn more about what Taopatch can do in terms of improving our health and well-being. And Taopatch seems to offer a really wide range of benefits. I have heard you mention like improved neurological communications, immunity boost, improved HRV, which is a huge interest of many
Mhm.
of our listeners, anxiety reduction, and many more. Can you discuss what Taopatch can do to help with our health?
Absolutely. So the really interesting thing is, so as we started, all it's really doing is it's converting your own body's energy, and it's reflecting it as very faint um, light, so very faint kind of stream of photons, and we place it on specific points on the body, and those points are, most of them are connected with or come from acupuncture. And then we've
Hmm.
also, over the years, we've kind of fine-tuned these protocols, and found additional points that are not acupuncture points, but they just work better without.
Hmm.
And so what this light does is it essentially, it's, first of all, this light is similar to the biophotons that our nerve
Hmm.
cells use to communicate with each other.
Hmm.
And so this is a relatively little known fact that I think the common knowledge is that our nerve cells use electrons to communicate,
Hmm.
but they also use photons, and this was shown back in the 70s. And so essentially what it does is this light reminds our nervous system what natural and kind of balanced communication
Hmm.
is like. And the reason this is important is that kind of over the course of of life, our nervous system gets destabilized
Hmm.
uh, because of pollution, because of genetic factors, stress, chemical pollution, light, noise, EMF pollution. All of these things destabilize our nervous system and kind of block that communication. And what Taopatch does is it helps your body kind of bring itself back into balance. It reminds it what balanced state is like. And so what happens is this streamlined communication leads to all sorts of benefits. The first system that it affects is your proprioceptive system. And proprioceptive system is essentially the kind of, it's a system that's responsible for your body's position in space and movement and balance.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, so for example, if you're playing piano or guitar, with your eyes closed, you don't have to look at the strings. The reason your body knows what to do is because of the proprioceptive system.
Right.
Frankly, same as walking, and like you're not thinking how to balance your body; it's just balances itself.
Right.
That's your proprioception.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of the first thing that gets affected. And so balance is the first system, kind of the first thing that we can measure and that you can see.
Right.
And this is also why one of the groups of people that we've been able to help is patients with multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's and fibromyalgia and other kind of neurological disorders where that communication between nerve cells gets damaged and leads to poor balance, mobility, and also pain. And so, you can, if you go on our website taopatch.co, you can see just how many before and after videos we have.
Yeah, I have watched those videos. They are amazing. They are like really amazing. How quickly sometimes those patients have improved.
Yeah, I mean, it's within minutes.
Yeah,
it's really just really amazing to see what we can do for people who've been really suffering with a terrible disease, and just by placing two patches on specific points on your body, it can help them walk straight. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's the first system that gets affected, and then there's the range of benefits is just astounding. It goes from pain, so your posture, pain, balance, better motion. So we have athletes, and we have several world champions who are using Taopatch, including the guy who just defended his European featherweight boxing title.
Right.
And triathlete champions, soccer teams, volleyball teams that use it. And we've done studies where we measure people can run faster, jump higher. It's really amazing. So
that's really amazing. Does Taopatch help those athletes to perform better by reducing pain or in some other ways as well?
No, that's. I mean, so reducing pain is another benefit. So like chronic pain is reduced, but it's not that. So it's by. Oh, okay. So it's a holistic set of effects. So your proprioception is more in control. You get more energy. So one of the things that happens is there's a detox. So it actually detoxifies your cells, and specifically detoxifies your mitochondria, which allows it to produce more ATP, more energy, and so you get more energy. Your HRV improves. Your brain waves speed up. There's just it's crazy. Well, and one of the things that's been really interesting is, and this was an unexpected result. So we conducted a study with MS patients over a year, and one of the things we noticed is their emotional well-being improved. So this is one of the things we realized is people feel better. There's a measurable when we conduct studies on emotional wellness. There's a steady increase in emotional well-being. There are specific. Oh, and as I said, so it combines light therapy with acupuncture. And so after kind of the initial month of getting adjusted to it, we recommend to try different protocols. So we have protocols for detox, protocols for stress and anxiety, for specific kinds of pain, for, essentially what acupuncture can address.
Yeah.
You can kind of treat Taopatch the same way. In fact, we now have practitioners, and most of them are in Japan, who are
Mhm.
traditionally acupuncturists, who gave up needles and used Taopatch.
Wow, that's super interesting because I'm originally from Japan actually,
Ah,
and in this way, acupuncture is very familiar to me. I have been to many, both in Japan and in Sweden where I live now, and yeah, it's fascinating to hear just that some acupuncturist in Japan have started trying Taopatch. That's really amazing to hear.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But what's interesting is acupuncture in Japan is kind of known for being on the cutting edge of acupuncture, so it's a little bit less traditional, and so I think that's why they are more open to it.
Yeah, and you actually have now three different types of Taopatch, right? There's Taopatch, Tao Start, Tao Pro, and this most recent addition, Tao Emotion.
Mhm.
And I'm actually interested in discussing the differences between those three as well, especially Tao Emotion.
Mhm.
I haven't been able to find so much information about this latest patches, so I'm very interested if you can just briefly explain for the audiences the differences between those three offerings.
Absolutely. So the difference is, well, okay. So there's a little bit of a difference in size, but it's not that that big. The main difference is in the range of wavelengths that the patches emit, and so the start. So of the three you mentioned, the start is it's more on the infrared side. So the
Mhm.
color of the patch itself is orange. And by the way, they glow in the dark. Um, so
Yeah.
if you in a dark room you can see it, but the range is actually wider than the visible light.
Mhm.
And so the start is ranges kind of more on the infrared, which has a particular set of benefits.
Mhm.
The pro, it's a wider spectrum, so it includes more ultraviolet waves.
Mhm.
And emotion, it also includes more ultraviolet, but it's more green in color. And so just these colors have been known to kind of treat different different things, and with emotion specifically,
Mhm.
we've noticed quite a few different benefits around emotional well-being, and also we've seen, and we haven't studied this, you know. With an official study, so I want to be careful what I what I say.
Yeah.
But we've seen improvements specifically around ADD and
Mhm.
ADHD, and specifically with kids.
Right. So it basically helps with concentration and
Yes,
focus.
yes, exactly. And
Mm.
we're about to release a new product, which is actually called Focus. Uh,
Mhm.
it's, there's a protocol. There's a few points literally on the top of your head that
Mhm.
are associated, and again, it's traditionally in acupuncture, with focus, with kind of neuroplasticity.
Mhm.
We're about to roll out a new patch and kind of an application device, which places it on top of your head, and
Mhm.
specifically it will be used for focusing, and it will be used for patients with neurological disorders where neuroplasticity and neuroregeneration is important.
That's super interesting. I cannot wait to actually see the new product focus. I didn't know about that, so it's super exciting to hear about the new addition to your product range. You mentioned that those patches glow in the dark, and also that um, uh, emotion and pro they include ultraviolet frequencies. That sounds very interesting to me because I think in the kind of health, like conscious, among health conscious people, usually ultraviolet frequencies get a little bit front. It's like people might think that it's kind of damaging to the body, especially for the skin. It gives you wrinkles if you know sunbathe too much and so on. But is it so that when it's used in the controlled way, right way, applied in the right manner, actually ultraviolet frequencies can be beneficial to the health?
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's all in moderation. In fact, one of the one of the reasons why this is important is, humans evolved with, kind of being in the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
uh, and specifically being exposed to the spectrum of the sun's wavelengths throughout the day.
Yeah.
So, in the morning and in the evening, there's less ultraviolet. During the day, there's more ultraviolet, or at noon, right? And
Yeah.
so this is all kind of, it's important for all sorts of things, and by not being exposed to that, by sitting inside, right, by not being out in the sun, we are kind of depriving ourselves of that traditional wavelengths that we've been exposed to over the millennia.
Mm-hmm. So I actually was very curious because I'm super interested in using Taopatch myself, and I hope that I get one for myself very soon. But but one of the things I was very much
Yeah.
thinking like was which one to choose, right? Because now you have three different kinds. Now soon you have four, and I was wondering if you actually
Mhm.
recommend people to use different types of Taopatch during different times of the day, as you just described. People, we evolved to expect to get different frequencies during different times of the day. So for example, Tau Pro includes blue light, which is what body expects to get during the daytime, but not during the nighttime. And biohackers are very aware of that blue light should be shut down during the nighttime. So I was wondering if it's actually a good idea to combine Tau Pro, which people would use during daytime, and then switch to Tau Start or Tau Emotion during the later period of the day.
You're the first person to suggest that. That's a really interesting idea.
I think it's a great marketing idea. No, but really beyond that, I was actually thinking about it because in one of your previous interviews, I think I heard you saying, well, in the beginning, maybe you want to wear Taopatch only like a couple hours a day, but later when your body adjusts to Taopatch and its kind of benefit, but its effect, you could wear it 24/7 as well. But at the same time, I learned Tau Pro emits blue light. So and as I said, people are quite sensitive to blue light's negative impact when you are exposed to it during the night time. So that's when I actually thought, maybe it's better to use different types, during different times of the day.
Well, so we haven't noticed. Well, okay, so let me address that. There are a couple of points there. So
Right.
it's fine to wear the Pro at any times of the day. I mean, keep in mind this light is
Hmm.
very faint. It's barely visible, so it's not going to
Right.
have that damaging effect of the sun. But and it's important for it to have some, for your body to have some exposure to it. And again, just
Hmm.
keep in mind it's very, very localized, very specific on certain points, and so it doesn't have kind of the holistic damaging effect. It just has a specific therapeutic effect on points where you want it to be placed. Now, as
Right.
far as wearing it 24/7 or not, so the protocols that we've developed over the years and what we're seeing now with thousands of people is it's important to not wear it 24/7 in the beginning for the first. And so we have the protocol where for the
Hmm.
first
Yeah.
week we recommend that you wear it for 4 hours a day. Then
Hmm.
the second week, 8 hours a day. Third week, 12 hours a day. And then after that, you can move to 24/7. And the reason for that is your well, there is a detox effect. As I mentioned, it detoxifies your cells, and can lead to, well, so technically what happens is those toxins get pulled out of the cells, and your body needs time to flush them out. And if you're just wearing them 24/7, then
Right.
it keeps pulling them, and that doesn't give it the time to flush them out of your body, and that just builds,
Right.
that can be very stressful on your body. And then as it gets adjusted, then it becomes over time 24/7 is fine, because that detox has already happened.
I wasn't actually so much aware of the detox effect initially, but that's very true. I mean, I think when your body goes through detox by any means, by Taopatch or any other means, there is this initial toxin removal phase, and during that phase, actually, you might feel even worse than before. And the toxin, because lots of toxin
Exactly.
gets removed from organs or body tissues, and your body has to process that before it gets like really improved. So it makes total sense that initially you shouldn't overdo Taopatch by wearing it all the time, but you should limit it to only 4 hours per day, for example, to let your body to detox first.
Exactly.
And I was also very curious to know. So it's nano crystal technology, and I do believe it
Mhm.
is a patented technology, and you cannot, of course, tell exactly how it works. But I'm a little bit curious to know how it works exactly. Is it like, yeah, is it like the same principle as light therapy? For example, light therapy, light panel that combines um, red light and near infrared light. It's very popular among
Mhm.
health optimizers. For example, there's like this light panel, which I also have at home, which you can actually expose yourself to every day, and you get the benefits of red light and near infrared light. Is it basically the same principle, but it's just through this nanocrystal technology, so that it's very compact and wearable? Does it work a little bit differently?
I mean, the principle is the kind of light. I mean, light is light, right? It's
Yeah.
it's just about the wavelengths of light.
Yeah.
The key kind of the patented part is this nanomaterial that basically doesn't need batteries. It just uses your own body's energy, and
Mhm.
it kind of reflects it back to you. So it's very environmentally friendly as well,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. But my another curiosity is also like, so many people, I think, in this community of biohackers do and have already tried this kind of light panel, for example.
Mhm.
As I said, we also have one at home. But for those of us who already have this kind of light panel, for example, do you think that there still is additional benefits by wearing one of the or several of the Tau patch?
I'm a little bit biased, but yes. Funny you should ask. No, absolutely, because the benefit is you're wearing it again 24/7. After the first 3 weeks, you're constantly
Yeah,
always kind of exposing yourself to it, and again, you're putting it on specific points that stimulate certain processes in your body. So it's more localized and therapeutic.
yeah. And also, of course, if you are traveling, not that we are doing that very much right now, but under normal circumstances, it is, of course, very convenient to have that, because the light panel is very not very portable in normal case.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I would like to switch the gear a little bit, and would like to also discuss your work at Transformative Tech. Because as I
Mhm.
learned more about your work at Transformative Tech, I was really fascinated about it and what its mission is. So you are the LA chapter lead.
Mhm.
Can you describe for the audiences what the who are unfamiliar with Transformative Tech, what it is, and what its mission is?
Absolutely. So, transformative tech is a global community of entrepreneurs and innovators, who are working on essentially using technology for human well-being and thriving. And I realize that sounds a little bit like, if you've seen, what was that show, Silicon Valley, how they're
Yeah.
they're making the world a better place
Yeah.
through something something. Well, so in our case, we're focusing on mental health, emotional health, and essentially just the inner well-being. And how do we use
Mhm.
technology to scale well-being, globally? And our mission is to help a billion people permanently shift their kind of emotional state by 2030.
Mhm. I think that's amazing. It's a really amazing mission. Um, I watched many videos from Transformative Tech's LA chapters monthly gatherings, I think, where you discuss different transformative technologies, and they are truly amazing. They are cutting edge and they are truly transformative. Um, I'll make sure to put the link to the show note so that people can find them. And one thing what I realized was that there are cutting edge technologies that aim to help human thriving, as you say, and a great interest for biohacker community as well, actually. But they are not well known. Like, for example, you mentioned, I think you had a video where Lucia number three, Lucia Light was discussed, and I really was keen on learning more about Lucia Light. Actually, it sounds amazing, but it's really not well known because I think we live in the era of keywords and hashtags, right? So if they don't get tagged, or if you don't get
Mm.
associated with the right search words, maybe like biohacking or transformative texts, then people might actually miss those amazing things, very easily. So I'm super happy. Actually, I got to know you through Taopatch initially, but also I'm super curious about this transformative technology and your work at there. I
Mhm.
watched the videos from Frequency Medicine Summit, which you hosted, I think, just a couple months ago. I'm sorry, I actually missed that at the time it was happening, um, but in which technologies of frequency, sound, vibration, and light, of course, were explored. Um, Taopatch, of course, uses the light as it means to heal, but there are many other means, such as sound and vibration, that are also very useful. Is frequency medicine something what you believe in as a way to go for transformative technologies?
Well, yes. I mean, the transformative technologies there's a ver- a- as this group of technologies, it has a very wide range of applications, from VR and AR to
Hmm.
there's just everything. So me personally, and this is why obviously the connection with Taopatch, I very much believe and am excited about vibrational medicine,
Hmm.
because not to get too too philosophical, but everything is vibration. All of all the particles are the wave particle duality, right? We are
Yeah, absolutely.
particles and waves, and so by kind of to me, vibration kind of acts as a almost like a hack. It's just whatever you're looking to accomplish. If you
Hmm.
just go to the fundamental level, which is vibration, you can affect the state of things and state of health and wellness directly.
Hmm.
And you kind of have almost the most control, more control over anything else that way.
Yeah, and vibration still actually, I think that it's still not too, maybe it's well understood scientifically, but when it comes to applying that to transformative technologies and medicine, I think we are still in its infancy. We haven't explored that to its full potency.
Absolutely, we're it's so early, so early. And
Yeah.
there it's exciting to be in this space, because there are companies that are doing things with sound vibration, with actual vibration, vibrating. And there is a really interesting product called Apollo, which is kind of like a bracelet you wear on your ankle or wrist, and it literally vibrates. And there's a few other products. Sensate is another one. Then there's sound frequency. So the binaural beats, for example,
Yeah.
is a very well, is becoming more and more popular. And we are kind of I would say, one of the few companies that are working with light. And to me, light is the most powerful, but it can all be. It's important to have all of the above.
Yeah. Is there any particular reason you are very excited about, particularly light, among other frequencies?
Well, yeah. So there again, not to get too philosophical too quickly, but we are. It's it's powerful because it can can penetrate kind of deeply into the body. I think at the core. We are light. Light is just a really interesting. Photons are very interesting particles. Like, one of the things that I haven't. It's very obvious if you think about it, but most people don't think about it. And I just realized it like a couple of months ago. So the time dilation from relativity. So time slows down as you travel faster, right, closer to the speed of light. And what's interesting is, so if you're traveling at the speed of light,
Yeah.
time basically stops. And also, what's interesting, space also stops. And so the light from a star, if we take the perspective of a photon that's traveling from from a star, billion light years away, for that photon, no time has passed over those billions of years, right? So from its perspective, it's literally standing still.
It is truly fascinating because, of course, like health optimizers, one aspect of it is anti-aging, right? Maybe it's anti-aging, a little bit old terminology and nobody uses it anymore. But basically, like David Asprey, who says officially that he wants to live until 180 at least, and this living longer it is a very big interest of biohackers. So and of course, in the means we currently have, even though you eat right, you exercise, you do all the right things, light therapy, it is maybe difficult for many people to live longer than, let's say, 100. So it's still something it feels like we still a lot of way to go. um, so I think we really have to think about what you just mentioned. It is a little bit philosophical, yes, but on the other hand, I do think that you are spot on. I mean, we really have to start thinking about what makes something really doesn't age. And that's exactly what you said. Proton, which is traveling at the speed of light, and it doesn't really, it stops the time, it stops the space, and I really hope that some very brilliant scientists can figure it all out for ourselves.
Well, I guess the trick is just you have to move faster.
maybe maybe that's the ultimate biohacking transformative tech. I don't know, but it's truly fascinating. As you say, I think you are in a very exciting space, which is in its very early stage. And are there some, you already mentioned Apollo and a couple of other technologies which are exciting vibration technologies, but are there any other transformative technologies you have seen, which you feel particularly excited about?
Yeah, I mean, I would actually highlight Lucia Light,
Hmm.
that you mentioned. So Lucia Light is, for those who don't know, it's essentially it's a strobe light. So it's like a flashing white light, that also contains, actually, it's white, but it contains both. It's a wide spectrum of it's a wide spectrum of white light doesn't really make sense, but it's
Yeah.
both kind of the colder and warmer white light. But essentially, if you shine it at your directly, so you put it on top of your face, so if you're sitting with
Yeah.
it right in front of your face, and it's extremely bright, so if you have to close your eyes uh,
Hmm.
when you're looking at it. But when you close your eyes and this bright light is flashing in your eyes, it essentially puts your brain into a meditative state, like really quickly. It so first of all, visually, it doesn't stay white. It actually turns into kind of very psychedelic color pattern, and it
Yeah.
puts you into a hypnagogic um, state where it just leads to all sorts of things, so all sorts of effects. And the benefits are,
Yeah.
ranging from PTSD, depression, and just kind of all the benefits of meditation, really.
It is truly amazing. I actually looked for. I think I first learned about Lucia Light when you mentioned it in your previous podcast, and I googled it, and I believe that it's only available like at practitioners, if I understood correctly. It's not something you buy to your home. Or maybe you could, but it's quite expensive. I don't. I actually found like practitioners. You can book time. It's like acupuncturist, in a way, and you can go for a session at the
Exactly.
practitioner.
Yeah, you can, and people do
Yeah.
own it, but I think they have a couple of different versions, but the main version, I think it's something like $20,000. Yeah.
Right. So it's quite pricey for home uses, but I'm definitely I actually think I'm not sure if it comes from Sweden because Lucia Light
That's
sounds a little
true.
bit Swedish
That's true.
because Lucia
Well,
is a
I think
Swedish
it actually
word.
comes from Switzerland.
Right. Okay. But I did find like practitioners close to our location, so I'm definitely going to try. And very interesting. I also listened to, I think Lucia Light was also featured in this frequency medicine summit, and I listened to that episode the video with great interest. And one thing which interested me greatly was she mentioned it's flickering. So you
Mhm.
said it's a very strong strobe light,
Yeah,
so it creates flickering, right? And that's basically how it gives you those health effects or those psychedelic effects that also promotes mental health or inner wellness. um, when when we discuss about flickering in combination with light therapy, usually actually people would associate it with negative impact. So if you, I know that when people try to choose a light panel, so red light and near infrared panel, like Juve, for example, people usually say that, is it zero flickering technology? Because they have heard that, flickering actually, causes a headache. It's not good for your health. But again, I think it's not that simple, right? It can be something which can cause damage to your health, can be used in a controlled manner to actually create beneficial effects, like just in case of flickering. And we also discussed blue light earlier, or ultraviolet light.
exactly. No, I
Yeah,
completely agree. I mean, it's uh, every medicine is a poison, and vice versa.
yeah,
Um,
that's right. Yeah. That's very true. If you take medicine, like good medicine, too much, or if you don't have any illness and take medicine, then maybe you might kill yourself.
Well,
So,
yeah. So the thing about it, so specifically with Lucia Light and the flickering, yeah, you don't want to be sitting underneath it for all day. So I'll tell you. So what happened with me when I first tried it,
Mhm.
it was actually at the Transformative Tech conference in the expo hall, where
Right.
so there's like a ton of people and it's loud and noisy, and I sat underneath this thing. Um, and I told the practitioner to just like turn it up all the way, because there's different levels of intensity. I'm like, oh, just give me the whole thing. And literally, what happened is within um, I don't know 30 seconds, I just felt like emotions come up from my from the bottom of my body come up, and I just almost started
Wow.
crying, and I had to stop.
Wow.
I had to like take it off and because crying in an expo hall is not not the best. Yeah, so it's intense, and
Mhm.
it's used. That's what it's used for therapy, and it is really really powerful.
Right, but it is still it's amazing to hear because it also means it was working, right? But maybe it's like Taopatch. If you wear that too many hours initially, then you might get like negative effect because of the detox effect. Maybe the same with Lucia Light because it really works. Initially, you would like to start like with a lighter frequency or something, so that you don't get exposed to your full trauma from from your childhood or something. It's
Exactly.
yeah, that's really fascinating. And I also wanted to ask about the transformative technologies or transformative tech as I think I heard you mention that there are 15 chapters globally, and you are the LA chapter lead.
Mhm.
um, but for somebody like us, so we are located in Sweden,
Mhm.
and many of our audiences live in either in the Nordics or somewhere in Europe.
Mhm.
Um, is there a way for us to participate in transformative tech if some of us get interested in?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, the beautiful thing that happened over this last year is now the world is much, much smaller. And so,
Mhm.
now all of the events that we're doing are basically global. And I'm planning a couple for the coming 3 months. And yeah, everything is going to be broadcasted globally, so everybody can join.
Wow, that's really great to hear. So um, um, you basically you're saying that everything would be broadcasted and people can either participate in those events live or maybe listen to the played contents later.
Exactly. Yeah. So well, and the way
Yeah.
you would get involved is if you just go to transformativetech.org. We have
Mhm.
a link to sign up for the community, and uh, yeah, so you'll be notified about all of our upcoming events.
I will definitely sign up. I will definitely put that on the show note as well and definitely sign up myself. As I said initially, I got connected with you because of Taopatch and I got really fascinated over that. But then the more I listened to your many videos and your work at Transformative Tech, I really got fascinated by what you are doing there and other kind of transformative technologies I didn't know about. And I definitely think that biohackers or health optimizers should know about them, and they are great interest for them as well. So I'm super happy to have learned about you, Taopatch, and transformative tech as well.
So
Yeah.
excited to share. Thank
Yeah.
you.
um, for our audiences, we have discussed quite a bit about both Taopatch and transformative tech as well. Are there anything you would like to add about either of them or anything else exciting you are doing?
um, well, that's a good question. I could talk for hours about this stuff. Well, I'd say just to kind of bring it back to Taopatch,
Yeah.
we have a money back guarantee. And so, if for whatever reason, if you're not happy with what you're seeing, you can always return it. So we highly, and I would definitely encourage you, if any of the benefits sounded interesting to you, just go on our website. It's taopatch.co. And you can order you can start with the Taopatch Start. It's the least expensive, or if you want to go for the stronger Pro, you can go for that. We have a payment plan where you can pay it in 4 installments, and again, there's no risk. So if it you're welcome to return it within the first 90 days, and we'll happily refund you.
That's also amazing. I mean, usually it's a very generous offer, and I definitely encourage the listeners to try. I will be trying myself. Personally, have you used both three types of Taopatch, or do you have any favorite?
I I actually use the one we haven't released yet. It's called,
Right.
it's called Platinum. Now it's kind of the Ferrari of towel patches. Um,
Wow.
it's coming out sometime this year, but you, you know, here's the thing. I am, and the thing it's hard since I've been wearing it for a while. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell the difference immediately. Um,
Mhm.
if in doubt, start with a basic one. Start with the cheapest one. You can always upgrade, and we have an upgrade program where we offer a discount for upgrading, so it ends up being about the same. Um, the yeah, there's no wrong there's no wrong
Right.
decision here.
Right. Yeah. I would definitely be trying. I think I would go with Tau Start and Tau Pro probably. And I think that you can use more than, I think it's 2 patches per box, but you can actually use like 2 boxes as well, right? Especially if you are suffering from diseases like MS or Parkinson. I think that on the website it says that then recommended doses in a way is actually 2 packages.
Yeah, well, it's actually you have 3 in a box, and
Right.
some protocols require, like for example, the head protocol requires 5 patches. So
Right.
one is just fine. You can start with one, and then you can get another one later. There's no problem.
Yeah. So the protocol is obviously like in the box. Like you get protocol when you purchase the Taopatch, and like instruction comes in the box, I guess.
Yes, exactly. And actually, well, it's even easier. It's a link to a website, and we have all of this detail on the website. We also have a kind of a course where you can. It's a program where you get access to instructions and tracking, and it helps you do it. Um, Helps you do it that way. And then we also have an amazing support
Right.
team, and so we really really encourage everybody to reach out if you're not seeing the results that you'd like, or if um, you just want to get more out of it. Please reach out. We're always there to help. And in fact, we have about a 5% return rate. So 5% of our people return the product. Um, Virtually all of them, there was one exception, but everyone else, people who return it, do not reach out to our support and do not ask for that help fine tuning it. And the thing that's important to keep in mind is, it originally was designed to be used by a
Right.
doctor, and there are different points, there are different things to try. Yes, it's very easy. You can place it yourself, but you really do get
Hmm.
more out of it if you try different things and give it some time and fine tune it.
Yeah, it's a little bit like acupuncture, right? Like
Exactly.
you have to be able to find the right acu points. Otherwise, like the needles wouldn't help you. Yeah, as I said, we will be definitely trying one, and I hope many people would do too as well. And it's no risk, as you say. So why not to try?
Let me ask you a question. When is the show airing?
It will be airing within the next couple of days. We need to edit, so and it's my IT guy Roland who will do the editing. But we usually edit over the weekend, so it can be out already Monday or Tuesday next week.
Well, so how about this? We'll create a discount code for your listeners.
That would be wonderful.
What should we make it?
Usually, our website or podcast is called Kenko Hacks. I can send it over the email to you. But Kenko means health in Japanese, and hacks is like biohacks. So usually the code is Kenko Hacks, as our podcast is.
That's what it's going to be.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I would definitely put it on the show note and on our website, and hope many people try that.
Perfect.
I truly enjoy this conversation. I could go on for the whole day, but
Me
I
too.
do know that you are very, very busy, Dimitri, and I so much appreciate our conversation today. Is there anything else? Oh, there's one thing I wanted to ask. I think that many people have gotten very interested in you, your work at Taopatch and at technology, transformative technologies. How can people find you if they want to follow your work?
Um, let's see. I'm on all the social networks. You can on LinkedIn, Dmitri Leonov. I'm on Twitter. I actually have my first name as my handle.
Okay.
It's a story for another time. And yes, probably LinkedIn is the easiest.
And of course, Taopatch, the CEO. Those will be on the show note with the right spelling, right address, and of course the promo code we just discussed. So I thank you so much again, Dimitri. I hope that we can maybe connect again when you release the new exciting Taopatch Platinum and the Focus. But for today, thank you so much again. It was great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
This was a podcast from Kenkoax. To follow us, subscribe on the channel Kenkoax on all the places where you can find podcasts.